Welcome back. As we promised, we are going to cover together the latest developments in the Middle East region, particularly in Gaza, in Israel-Iran conflicts, and also we are going to have a quick look at the latest visit by Bahraini King Hamad bin Isa to Egypt, which lasted for 3 days, in which President Abdel Fattah was his guest, and they had summit talks regarding a number of issues of mutual concern and also tackling ways to boost bilateral ties in various domains. To shed more light on the political scene, we are very much delighted to have with us via phone Dr. Hassan Wageeh, Professor of Political Science and International Relations, and our political episode of The Breakfast Show. A very good morning to you, sir.
A very good morning to you.
Sir, let's start with King Hamad bin Isa's visit to Egypt, which, as I said, lasted for 3 days and witnessed summit talks with President Sisi. How do you see the deeply rooted ties between Egypt, or between Cairo and Manama, and the leap they witnessed recently with exchange of visits on political levels in general, whether on the political leadership level or the ministerial level?
Yes, the relationship is excellent. It is getting strategic. It started with a great deal of intimacy and agreement on most of the issues confronting and the challenges confronting the area since the 80s. So King Isa visit is not the first one. It's in a series of a long array of visits that would reflect the deep relationship between the Kingdom of Bahrain and Cairo.
Yeah. Sir, of course, what's going on is really threatening, not only, by the way, the region, but the whole world. Among the files which were on top of the agenda of talks is the situation in Gaza and the escalation or the retaliatory attacks or exchanged attacks between Israel and Iran. How do you see the continuous consultations between Egypt and the different countries, particularly our allies, and here we're speaking about Bahrain, to try to find a solution for the current crisis and to reach a ceasefire in Gaza?
Yes, both countries and actually all fair-minded people in the world are supporting the efforts, the diplomatic efforts exerted by the Egyptian leadership, where we are trying for coming up to a fixation and a ceasefire, so as we can talk about the future, we can talk about two-state solution, we can talk about stability for each one in the world, in this area, and of course in the world by consequences. So I think that when the president met with His Majesty King Isa, he said that you came in a very critical and dangerous time, and he also felt sad about the bloody Israeli war in Gaza and the continued horrific fall of thousands of innocent civilians who really are defenseless. And they are trying to cling to their homeland and to aspire to live in dignity.
Yep.
So the president also made very important statement. The president also warned again and again of an attempt to force displacement.
Yeah.
Egypt would reject that. Egypt would react to that. Egypt should be left out of that because even the United States, all the Western powers are against that. So I think if some extremists would like to operationalize something like that, they are putting the whole world into a very dangerous area.
Yeah. We are going to return back to this, sir, but if you permit me, we are going to file. I think the war against terrorism will never end because terrorism is a global phenomenon. And to boost cooperation in the military domain, it's also another file which was discussed. How do you see the importance of achieving fruitful cooperation or realizing on the ground fruitful cooperation between Egypt and our allies? And here we are talking about one of the symbols we have, Bahrain.
Yes, both countries really cooperated closely to fight terrorism. And when we are talking about terrorism in the two countries and in the area and in the world, we are not talking about some dogmatic people only. We are talking about many currents that really extremism can generate terrorism. Hatred can generate, as the Secretary General said, hatred generates hatred. So these are a collocation of words. We have to fight extremism, dogmatism, military militias that really try to be here and there, supported by some power here and there, against the polarization, because polarization also is a dangerous situation. We have to get out of that in a far more relaxed way to prevent the terrorism and to tackle the roots of terrorism.
Yeah. Sir, in the press conference which took the summit talks between President Sisi and the monarch of Bahrain, the president criticized the international community and its failure to put an end to the Israeli genocide war. And right after the just few days, I think 2 days later, the United States vetoed a UN resolution to ratify or to give Palestine a full UN membership. And of course, Egypt expressed sorrow, and it was unclear why this is really happening. And we listened together to the speech of the UN representative, Ambassador Osama Abdel Khaliq, and also Vice Arab League Secretary General Hussein Zaki, both urging the international community to shoulder their responsibility and to say that simply the Palestinians deserve to have an independent Palestinian state and Palestine to have a permanent, a full membership in the UN. How do you see this veto by the United States, and how do you see this as an obstacle on the way to peace?
Actually, this shows contradiction in situations. When the United States said the United States is with the two-state solution, the United States against Operation Rafah, the United States would like to punish some settlers who really commit violences, and then violence against who? Against the Palestinians in their own land. So I think that to prevent or to object or to veto the full status of Palestine, this is very contradictory, because if you'd like peace and if you'd like what you said as two-state solution, empower the Palestine have a full status in the United Nations. But anyway, Palestinians also should work very hard. When things happen, when crisis came, could be a challenge that would make people change. Palestinians must with each other. Palestinians should stand for the entire world as one unit, as one unity, and they have to work on that too. And they should take out of this challenge an opportunity to work harder on themselves too. Let us be frank and open.
Yep. And sir, I think it was a rare, harsh terms used by Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas yesterday when he reacted to this American veto, and he said that the Palestinian Authority consider bilateral relations with the United States to maintain Palestinian cause, interests, and rights of their people, and they are not going to remain hostage to policies which proved failure. How do you see this reaction from the Palestinian Authority side?
I think it is natural, and what President Abbas said, of course, is justified, and it is his own right to say so. But again, my point is that let the Palestinians work harder on compromise among themselves, so as to consolidate and consolidate their situation and their image and their stance towards what's taking place.
Yeah. Sir, also Egypt condemned the latest escalations between Iran and Israel, whether the Iranian attack or the so-called retaliatory attack from Israel. I called it a mock ibit, and I think we talked about that off air. And yesterday it was such a similar way to describe the situation when Iranian Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdullahian said that the attacks or the Israeli strikes on Iran are just a child play. How do you see the whole story? And if so, does it really deserve to have these fears from the international community? The situation is going to turn into a Middle East war after the start of the genocide war of Israel in Gaza nearly 7 months ago?
Yes, I'd like very much to commend what you brought from English literature, the epic, the mock epic. Yes, it's a very good expression on your part to describe what is happening. It's really mocking. It is really a mock epic. It is really taking the whole world into another, enlarging the context area of enlarging the context of wars and fire in the area. I don't think that we will get into this kind of a response and then response to the response and then response to the previous response, and it will never end. But again, as we have seen, this is one of the silliest win-win because they consider themselves in the hidden agenda that I won and you won, I hit and you hit back. I think this is, and the media, they are celebrating the two sides' silliest win-win approach.
Yep.
Win-win approach should be real, should be authentic, should be for the interest and for the stability and sustainable peace among all parties in this area.
Yeah. Sir, Egypt is exerting the utmost efforts to try to find a solution and to implement or to reach a sustainable comprehensive ceasefire. And on all levels there are contacts. And yesterday there was an important visit by Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry to Istanbul, and he had talks with his Turkish counterpart Hakan Fidan, and they also raised the hot issue, which is the Palestinian cause. Sir, the diplomatic efforts exerted by Egypt on all levels, and just a day before, the foreign minister was also in South Africa, and he also mentioned or renewed the Egyptian stance regarding the Palestinian cause, full rejection of displacement of Palestinians, whether inside or outside their territories, and continue with guaranteeing the flow of aid to people in Gaza.
The Egyptian leadership, represented by the president and the foreign minister and all the body of foreign affairs, Egypt is trying to deploy a very complex compound diplomacy in many directions so as to succeed, inshallah, for getting all the parties to stop this war and to put an end to wars in general. Because even if you go back to this visit by King Isa, yes, the King Isa and the president discussed the area of how the Gulf should not be set on fire, and we should not enlarge the conflict and prevent enlarging the conflict by so many means. And if there are international power having a conflict, I think that the zero-sum game will never serve the purpose of any power of the world.
And whether Egypt and Bahrain or Egypt and other Arab countries, we all share the same view that the humanitarian should reach people in Gaza immediately and in full quantities, just to support them to live. And on the other hand, to try to find a solution to end this catastrophe and to try to repel the expected Israeli assault on Rafah. True?
Yes, of course. Of course, it's true. I mean, nobody can ignore the fact that humanitarian aid should have its own way to the Palestinian people, because this kind of genocide, humane creation, should came to an, because it will never serve the purpose of any real, authentic living in this area. We have to cooperate, and the Israelis should understand this, and should understand that if they would like to live peacefully and with stability and with everything, the Palestinians to live along with them, and to consider humanity, and to consider what this operation AI in killing people in destruction, the side direction in Gaza is like using already as if they have used nuclear bombs. So
Yeah.
it is an unfortunate situation, and there is a lyric, very important lyric by Peter, Paul, and Marion. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. I hope no. I hope it's not blowing in the wind. I hope that we will blowing to extinguish the fire in the area for the sake of everyone.
One final question, sir, regarding the joint Arab action. Of course, President Sisi, also in the press conference with Bahraini King Hamad bin Isa, whenever we do share the same views, and whenever we are going to all the time renew our vow to continue supporting the Palestinians and to have Palestine as the main cause of the Arab region in general, another side of the coin was the Arab Parliament. Adel Abdurrahman Al-Assoumi headed a session yesterday for the Arab Parliament, and it was in the headquarters of the Arab League here in Cairo. And a lot of messages were sent to Israel and to the international community's failure in stopping Israel from the genocide war they started nearly 7 months right now, or which entered its 7th month. How do you see the importance of this term, joint Arab action, and to have whether the Arab League, the Arab Parliament, or any other concerned Arab entity to urge the international community to shoulder its responsibility?
Yes, I think the President, His Majesty King Isa, also put on the negotiating table how to consolidate this Arab system. Arab system should be enhanced, should be consolidated, should be empowered. And discuss that and the plan in the coming Arab Summit in Manama, which will be in May. So it is we have only a few weeks, and the Arab League should be there in Manama, and the summit should be convened. And I think that they try to plan for consolidating more unified Arab world to stand against the unprecedented challenges facing us.
Amen to that, sir. Well, Dr. Hassan Wageeh, Professor of Political Science and International Relations and our political analyst, thank you very much for your input, sir, and have a very good day. Right after the short break, we are going to return back with more.